date, ICD-9 code, and also the surgeon's name in these fields. So you don't have to retype all that information. You only have to change and type the information in those fields that have changed. This is to reduce the amount of input that one has to do. Now that we've entered the cases, now let's take a look at how SequelMed performs the anesthesia concurrency. This is the anesthesia case administration window. Within this window, we're going to check the cases for the concurrency, and we're also going to create the anesthesia charges. If you notice, this window groups the cases by date of service and then by location, so it's quick and easy to select the cases that you'd like to perform the concurrency on. We're going to perform the concurrency check on the 1110 date of service. If you notice, we have two different alerts going on. We have the yellow, and these are warnings, and the red are the alert errors. Let's take a look at what some of these alerts are. We have an anesthesiologist is medically directing and personally performing. A CRNA cannot be on multiple cases at the same time. We have an unsupervised CRNA. And just a quick reminder that these alerts and warnings are based on how you set up each plan-specific rules. Also, provider of concurrency of 4, and these are just the most common type of alerts. There are many more that SequelMed is checking for. Here's another one. A residency's concurrency is greater than 2 for the services provided by the provider. Now, this is a plan-specific rule that we're checking, and this is for Medicare. And what this is stating is that when the resident was on the case, Dr. Brown had more than 2 concurrent cases that he was medically supervising at the same time. Now let's take a look at how we can go through, and there's different ways that we can view this information to quickly drill down to where the problem areas are. So let's take a look at CRNA green, and we'll review first how to look at CRNA in multiple cases. This is just one way. I'm going to do a right mouse click, and I'm going to do a filter on CRNA green's name, and I'm going to sort that by ascending. And we can very quickly see that from 1300 to 1530, green is on multiple cases at the same time. This can be very easily fixed by clicking on the 1300 and just changing it to 1535 right within this window. Now also, you can go directly to the case and change it right within the case also. Now let's take a look at the anesthesiologist is medically directing and personally performing. What we can do is we'll go to Dr. Brown's name. We're going to double click on Dr. Brown. When we double click on Dr. Brown, a window is going to open that's going to show all the cases that Dr. Brown was on from 9/20 to 13/20. And also we could go directly into that case from here to view it right from within this window. Okay. Now that we've gone through, we fixed the individual cases. Now we're going to create the charges. So what we're going to do is we're going to create the charges for the 11.5 data service. I'm going to click on Do Auto Charges. And if you notice, SequelMed automatically adds the appropriate anesthesia modifiers, the QI, QS, and GC, based on each particular case and the plan rules that have been set up. So all we do now is we can either enter the charge batch number here or just click OK. After the charges have been created, they go into claims editing. And here within claims editing, there's 3 different columns. You have missing, warning, and errors. The missing column is the information that SequelMed is checking for. An example of this is, for example, provider ID numbers required. To fix this is very simple. All we do is we can do a view submit, go down, view the claim, and we notice that the provider ID number is missing. If we enter the provider ID number, it will not just be added for this particular claim, but it will also be added within the provider's profile also. And then when we do find again, if you notice, the warning message is now gone. Now we have warning and errors. The warning and errors are the actual CCI edits, and here we're checking for bundling, that the ICD-9 code supports a procedure. The ICD-9 is to the greatest specificity. We can define what edits are warnings and errors by plan, and you can also create your own edits right within Sequel. From within this window here, you can also, if you double click on it, the Visit Detail window opens up, and you can also double click on the individual charge line, and then information will open also, the charge detail window. So you can make the appropriate changes, save them, and then you can always select all your claims when you're done and do a check edit, and this runs the claim editing software. Now, to get the claims out of the claims editing bucket and into the submit bucket, you can do a set edit, and this will take all the claims without missing, warning, or errors in these columns and move them directly to the submit bucket. The clear edit bucket, what that will do is it will run the claim scrubbing software, and it will take all the claims with warning messages and no errors and no missing information and move those directly to the submit bucket. This concludes our online demonstration, and I'd just like to summarize here. When we scan the anesthesia cases into SequelMed, SequelMed automatically separated the documents into each case and linked them to the case so that the documents can be viewed within the case. When we created each case, we were able to enter all the procedures that were related to that case, even for different dates of service, if they were available. When we performed the concurrency, SequelMed alerted us to the plan and case type rules. When the charges were created, SequelMed automatically added the appropriate anesthesia modifiers. After the charges were created, the charges moved to the claims editing bucket where they were reviewed. Thank you for taking the time to listen to our online demo. If you'd like to learn more about our products, please call 800-965-2728. Thank you for your interest in SequelMed. We look forward to hearing from you soon.